Hello and welcome back. On the last episode we met a male cerulean who was good with computers, seemed like a pretty nice person. He was disappointed that we weren't a robot, but he was kind enough to lend us his jumper or sweater, so we are no longer wearing just a bathrobe. With that though, there's not much to continue explaining, rather than continue on with volume 11. Volume 11 of Pals Promises and Made Pals and Promises Made and Broken. Another night, another long walk. Despite the blisters, you have started to feel truly optimistic. You've got a lot going for you these days. True, you're still technically a castaway on a hostile planet with absolutely no hope of rescue. But if you're completely honest, Earth was pretty bad too. Sure, 98% of everyone here is a psychopath who would rip your face off as soon as look at you, but it's the other 2% that are really going to make it all worth it. Lynera Skalbi. You've had such good luck making friends lately that you feel almost popular, but at the same time, you feel a strange sense of loneliness that new friendships don't seem to penetrate. Maybe being the only one of your species light years away from home is starting to catch up with you. Or maybe you're starting to understand why popular kids in movies sometimes seem so sad. A number of trolls now like you, but do any of them truly know you? What you wouldn't give to hang out with someone with a real you have a real history with. Someone with whom you don't have to do this introductory dance of, yes, I'm clearly an alien. No, I don't know what's going on. Someone with whom you could reminisce about the old times. Someone you've hung out with more than once. Right now, you're on the outskirts of town, and a rocky outcrop surrounding you are outcrops surrounding you are familiar. You're pretty sure that the entrance to the brooding caverns is around here somewhere. Your heart beats a little faster. Bronya lives close to here. And talk about history. You two know each other deeply from hanging out once and then seeing her again at her ex-mate's hive. Plus, you have a phone now. You have the power to text first. You get the phone. You get the phone that Canal gave you. Look at you go, reading an alien language with operating alien technology is just fine. Does it make sense that you've learned how to read a new alphabet in weeks without anyone teaching you? Not really, but maybe you're struggling with Spanish class in high school, just a fluke. And you've got you've been a secret linguistical genius this whole time. I doubt it. Bronya texts you back immediately, giving you the directions of how to meet her in the caves. You head down, but before the Jade Blood Hive is in sight, a troll emerges from the shadows. At first you think it's Bronya, but you freeze mid-wave when this new troll steps into the light. Bronya doesn't wear glasses, and she never glared at you like that. It's you. I remember you. You were down here a few weeks ago, bothering Bronya and distracting her when we almost had a Lucifer stampede. Ouch. Is that really how Bronya has described your adventures together? Maybe it's silly of something that small to hurt your feelings when another recent friend nearly got you killed in Clown Church. But you like to think that you and Bronya formed a real connection. She never made you feel like you were bothering her. A real connection? Is that why you think you can just come down here and text her? Oh, she's gained another knife. Holy crap. Is Lynera reading Bronya's messages? Does Bronya know she's been doing that? That's none of your business. Well, I mean, it's our text, so it kinda is. Bronya and I are best friends. I'm just looking out for her. She has a lot of Jade Blood's responsibilities. and doesn't need anyone shifty coming down to disrupt her. You have to wonder if Bronya would agree with this statement you made on her behalf. And you sure would like to see her in person and confirm for yourself. Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Yes, we just said that. Why don't you tell me? What is the nature of your relationship? Why should I allow you to hang out with her? As your text message so boldly suggested. Bluffing has saved your behind in some bleak situations before, but you could also go on the offensive here. You're concerned about Bronya's privacy now, and as a friend, maybe you shouldn't just look the other way. Moral question, ignore this, and try and save again. There we go. Make wild claims about your friendship with Bronya to save yourself, or what right does Lynera have to creep around Bronya's phone? What right do you have to creep around her phone? You puff up with all the self-righteousness you can muster. The nature of your relationship with Bronya is between you and Bronya, and you're not doing anything suspicious by wanting to see your friend. In fact, it seems a lot more suspicious that Lynera is trying to intercept anyone who messages Bronya. What possible reason could she have to justify that? Well, I never. As I said before, I am Bronya's best friend. I take my responsibilities as a friend very seriously. You press the issue, narrowing your eyes and crossing your arms over your chest. Her responsibilities as a friend, huh? Sounds kind of fishy. Fishy? Are you serious right now? Are you really coming down and making fish puns like some kind of sea dweller? That is so suspicious. Who knows what Bronya would decide to do? Who knows what Bronya decided to show you when you tricked her into trusting you? Not that we have anything to hide, but who knows? If you're all associated with sea dwellers, then we have a pretty big problem on our hands, don't we? You've heard of sea dwellers by now, but none of your friends have talked about them much. Mostly, you've gathered that they dwell in the sea. You don't know why it would be extra bad for you to be one of them, but it's clear you need to backpedal. Before you can try and disown your choice of fish-related phrasing, Lynera advances on you. Obviously, I can't let you talk to Bronya now. You're way too suspicious. I think you and I should have a private conversation instead. At least your life is uneventful when you're unconscious. Oh boy. When you come to, you're sitting in the chair with your wrists tied. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you realize that you're in a smaller cave that's with the big open caverns that led to the Jadeblood Hive. Our light switch is on, and you can see that the cave walls are lined with bookshelves, and there's a desk in the corner. There are books and notebooks and bulletin boards with what looks like outlines and study guides pinned to them. And in front of you, Lynera is holding a knife. Oh good, you're awake. This is my study cave. In the Jadeblood Hive, it's harder to concentrate because people break the rules and I get irritated. So I come here to do homework. That's all, just homework. When you take a second to look at the bulletin boards, you see there's a lot of what Lynera has pinned up of pictures of Bronya. There are a few pictures of Lynera and Bronya together, but it's mostly just Bronya by herself, and even a couple of blurry photos of Bronya and Elwood. What are you looking at? There's nothing to see here. She brandishes the knife in your face, and okay, yeah, sure. Now she made a guide. Her gigantic knife is have your full attention, and you are not looking at the creepy Bronya shrine anymore. I brought you here because your messages to Bronya were highly suspicious. I don't know you, and I don't trust you. You could be trying to see Bronya for nefarious purposes. So I brought you here to vet you. Now we can talk about what your real intentions are. So you're definitely going to die in this cave, held captive by an unhinged Jadeblood who was convinced of your guilt from the moment you dared to text her best friend. That kinda sucks. You tried so hard, and you got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Oh come on, stop playing the victim. If anyone's the victim here, it's me. How is it you? I try so hard to be there for Bronya as a best friend, but she doesn't even Lynera stops abruptly. You see her lower lip start to tremble before she turns her face away from you. The sharp tip of the knife pointed at your throat droops a bit. Its dejected swing takes it dangerously close to your navel, and you try to subtly lean backwards into your chair. Lynera interprets the noise of distress that escapes your mouth as the noise of sympathy. It's fine though. It's fine. Our friendship is great. I wouldn't change anything about it. It's fine. It's fine as long as she doesn't have any other friends. Because I'm her best friend, and I should be the only one she needs. Lynera's knife is completely lowered, pointing at the floor. Even though her hands are up. That gives you some hope. She seems to have forgotten about her sea dweller suspicion. Maybe if you can keep her talking about Bronya, the whole stabbing notion can be taken off the table, and she might even let you go. You rack your brain for all the knowledge of Alternian relationship dynamics that you've managed to compile during your time on this planet. Best friends. You have a special word for that, right? You tell Lynera that you're sure Bronya doesn't need anyone else. If she and Bronya are my rails, then Lynera must be very special to her. What? I never said we were my rails. That's not even the quadrant I want her in. I mean, never mind that. How dare you make assumptions? Yeah, never make assumptions. Assumptions are bad. Hello, knife point again. Oh crap. All you meant to say is that you thought that her relationship with Bronya was probably fine. You figured they must be in their quadrant together because you're a clueless alien. You're bad. I get why you'd think that. It's probably so obvious that my feelings for her are very red. Her head hangs her head and her shoulders shake. Tears roll down her cheeks, dripping onto her crisp shirt collar and the knot of a jade green tie. I know I don't have a chance. She doesn't think of me that way. I'm her loyal friend and second in command. That's all I ever will be to her, no matter what. And I try to do a really good job at being her best friend. Because what else can I do? If I'm her best friend, then at least I'm still in her life. At least I mean something to her. Maybe it's the fact that Lynera's life hasn't come close to any of your major arteries for a hot minute, but maybe it's the tears. Either way, you feel sympathy encroaching on the monopoly of that abject terror had previously maintained in your brain's economy. You've acted as a verbal soundboard or a sympathetic ear for some of your other troll friends while they've dealt with crises of various kinds. Slipping into the role of the therapist for someone who's holding you hostage at Night Point is a new one for you, but unfortunately, it's not that much of a stretch. It seems like young trolls on Alternia have to deal with these heavy life issues by themselves, feeling so alone that they're willing to turn to an alien stranger to help them work things out. Then again, maybe life that is grim and isolating for human teenagers too, and you just never noticed before. Maybe everyone's too merged in their own stuff to look up and realize that the movie's fecal matter is waist high and everybody's around them too. You clear your throat and speak up with as much consoling gentleness as you can muster while your head still throbs from where Lynera knocked you out. It seems like trying to be Bronya's best friend isn't making Lynera very happy. Of course it isn't making me happy. I can't keep her from having other friends no matter how hard I try. And she's amazing. Of course everyone wants to be her friend. Including you, apparently. You can barely even, you barely even had a chance to miss the knife before it was waving around again. Yikes, your friendship with Bronya is nothing like her relationship with Lynera. You don't count it as any kind of competition. Bronya is one of many friends to you, and while you cherish her and support her endeavours, you appreciate the joy and fulfillment that can come with having many different friends instead of depending on a single person to meet all your emotional needs. Sounds fake. Why would I ever want any friends besides Bronya? She's my whole world. Because if you have other friends, then you don't have to tell Bronya about the sad stuff. Okay, but it seems like Like, it's painful for Lynera to be relying on Bronya to be her whole world when Bronya isn't doing the same in return. Has Lynera even talked to Bronya about any of this? No, never. I'm terrified to tell her how I feel. Being her best friend, it feels awful, but losing her would be so much worse. I can't take that risk. But if Lynera never talks to Bronya about her feelings, she'll always be unhappy because she wants more. Even if she thinks that it's unlikely that Bronya feels the same way, maybe open communication with a friend can help Lynera process her feelings and move on. You know that Lynera has a big heart, a blood pusher, and many fine qualities, and she doesn't deserve to be stuck in this unhappy, unrequited relationship purgatory forever. Wow, you really think I have fine qualities? You try very hard to think of about the glint of. You try very hard not to think about the glint of the knife. Sure, Lynera has positive qualities. She seems loyal, well organized, and studious and caring. Some trolls out there is going on to want the same kind of consoleness from her that Lynera is looking for, and she owes it to herself to take the actions that could lead to happiness instead of being stuck in a sad situation forever. I don't know. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but I don't want to move on, even if I know I should. I just want to be with Bronya forever. Lynera crumbles to the ground, dropping the knife and sobbing into her hands. It's hard to watch someone in this much distress and not want to help them. But on the other hand, her misery is distracting her, and this might be your only chance to try and escape. Clearly, attempting to escape is the road option. You look around and see if there's anything written. You look around and see if there's anything within reach so that you could use to free your bound hands. On the desk a few feet away, there's a spot of a spiral book note with a nasty-looking edge on its binding. You scoot over your chair over, doing your best not to make any noise, but Lynera is too busy wailing to notice regardless. You get a hold of the notebook and saw through the ropes with your wrist. It was so hard to watch her and Elwood together. Elwood doesn't deserve her. She was so mean. I know she's a cerulean, but I swear, if she shows her face in the caverns again, I will go straight for her primary spurred artery. It's a good reminder that Lynera is dangerous. You saw faster, and success. Your hands are now untied. Lynera's back is turned to you while she gets up from the floor. You take a quick look at the notebook in your hands. It seems to be a carefully annotated and organized scrapbook diary chronicling Lynera's friendship with Bronya. On the one hand, it's a bit creepy in the context that of how you're still held hostage by the person who made this. But on the other hand, it does pull out your heartstrings. But you keep a firm grip on those heartstrings, because you still gotta get out of here. When Lynera turns back to your face, you leap from your chair brandishing the scrapbook and in front of you as like a shield. If she comes any closer with the knife, you can destroy the scrapbook in an instant with your acid spit. That's right, you're an alien. Your alien autonomy has destructive powers that can vaporize Lynera's precious Bronya memories in seconds. No, you can't. What are you doing? How dare you touch that book? For a terrifying second, you think she might lunge at you, but then Lynera steps to the side, giving you a straight shot to the cave exit. As you scuttle your way towards freedom, you remember your phone. Lynera took it from you when she knocked you out, but you don't know how to possibly get another one. No way. I'm not giving you anything you might use to contact Bronya. I won't have you messaging her behind my back and trying to replace me as a best friend. It seems like nothing you said when you were tied up had any impact on her at all. Maybe forcing people at knife point to be your therapist doesn't result in quality therapy. You still feel bad for her, but it's time to break out the big guns. If Lynera doesn't return your phone, you'll find another way to reach Bronya and tell her everything. Not only the lowdown on Lynera's stalking and kidnapping tendencies, but also the truth about how Lynera feels about her. Lynera gapes at you, her eyes filled with tears again, but she hands over your phone. I can't believe how cold you are. I thought that maybe we were bonding, that maybe I could start to trust someone after that Bronya. But you didn't mean a single word of all those things you said. Lynera's face twisted and contorted between rage and grief. When you make the phone scrapbook trade, she drops the knife in the other hand and clutches the scrapbook to her chest. It's one of the, it's like one of the regulars in the J Blood Nursery. You don't feel guilty for doing what you had to do to escape unharmed, but you can't help but wish that you had been able to actually help her. It's clear to me now, Bronya is the only friend I will ever have. Man, unfortunate, really, but we had to escape. We knew it was the wrong one. Anyway, but that also means that make claims about Bronya's friendship. You and Bronya go way back. If Lynera seems unfamiliar with your history, it might be because your friendship with Bronya precedes her, or predates her. And actually, part of why your text her today was because your close friends has recently begun getting a little red, you could say. Bronya needed someone to step in and fill the hole in her blood pressure, left by Elwood after all. Considering the changing nature of your relationship, Bronya has been ever more protective of you than usual lately. Oh boy! Lynera doesn't seem to be impressed by your astute cultural knowledge, nor does she look intimidated. Her glasses reflect opaque in the murky cabin light as she takes a step closer. Her claws, you've just noticed, are very sharp. Bronya is very protective of those she pities. You've got that much right, if you're telling the truth, and I don't know that you are, but she would want to protect you if she knew you were here. Oh crap. Oh, you messed up. If Lynera intercepted Bronya's phone, then Bronya has no idea you reached out, and you could be disposed of, but none the wiser. Okay. Oh no. Look what you made me do. You had no idea someone in the skirt moved. No, you had no idea someone in a skirt that long could move that so fast. And monster with a knife. And that leaves us with the one last option, which would be to just sit there and comfort. You remember that what you did for Polypa when she was upset, sitting in a chair with both hands tied behind you doesn't make you feel ideal for shush-papping conditions, but maybe you could approximate this gesture. Lynera is huddled crying on the floor, and you think you could maybe get close enough to lean your knee against her back or something. Hopefully that would be interpreted in the same way as a classic palm-to-cheek move. You inch your chair closer to her, but you lose your balance and wobble, and it topples forwards. Lynera's discarded knife is right there. The sharp edge is plunged right into your incoming soft body, but Lynera moves quickly and grabs your chair and saves your life. Oh crap, that was a close one. You really could have died. She stares at the knife with huge round eyes, clearly shaken up by your near-death experience just now. Considering how often you nearly die these days, you feel more blase about it. But you're glad it's having an impact on her, and if it makes her rethink the whole kidnap and stab idea thing. I'm so sorry. I don't want you to actually die. I saw what you were doing in that chair when you fell. You were trying the traditional seated front hinge shush-pap because I was upset. It was very kind of you to try and console me. I never really thought you were a sea girl, you know. Maybe what I'm doing is wrong. Lynera sets a jaw with conviction, and with one slash cuts you free of your bonds. You get to your feet, stumbling a bit because your leg fell asleep. You can't believe you're getting out of the situation without any blood loss. You feel positively elated about this turn of events. But Lynera still looks sad. You're free to go. You must think the worst of me after all this. Well, you're not going to lie. It wasn't the best start of a friendship you've ever had. but horrifyingly enough, it also wasn't the worst. You feel for Lynera. You want to show her how a real friend-making aficionado gets out there and meets people. You think making new friends could help her feel less clingy about Bronya. Oh, you would really do that for me? I'm not too sure about new friends. But you do seem to know what you're talking about. You don't know where to go with Lynera to teach her how to make new friends. She's probably a bit too uptight to enjoy the music clubs you've been to. But you don't think that troll studying in a book hive would take kindly to the sort of loud, friendly conversation. You decide to go to the cafe that Elwood introduced you to. Thankfully, they're not having the excessive bodily force poetry night. Since you're not sure what Lynera... you're not sure that would be in Lynera's scene. There are a number of ceruleans here, but you also spot a few indigos and teals, and a cluster of different-looking olive buds and some yellows, all sitting together. The crowd is overall less fierce and uncut than it was when you were here with Elwood, but the vibe is laid back, and all the trolls just sitting around and quietly chatting. You order the drinks, already taken for granted your newly acquainted skills at reading troll language. Lynera is fidgeting when you sit down with her. This may come as a shock to you, but I don't get out of the caverns very much. I don't have time. There's so much to learn about jade blood life and troll reproduction. And Bronya needs my help to maintain order. It's not very often that I have to interact with trolls other than of other blood colours. You're not sure what making her uncomfortable. The trolls around here are lower than her on the hemo spectrum, and all those that are higher. You worked out by now that jades are right in the middle, and maybe Lynera identifies with neither to have nots. From what you remember, neutrality is a big concept with jades. You assure Lynera that it's natural to be a little nervous. Most people feel like they're stepping out of their comfort zone when they're making a new friend. If there's one thing you've learned as Alternia's resident friend-making expert, it's that terror and embarrassment are par for the course, and it's worth it in the end. I'm not nervous or embarrassed. It's just, I don't know. Everyone seems disorganized and suspicious and untrustworthy and unknown. You have to bite your lip to keep from laughing, but it's not even funny. It's just that Lynera is hissing all her words and leaning in towards you and glaring at the rest of the room, and the overall effect is weirdly endearing. Like someone put on a 1950s school uniform on a feral cat. Before you can try and explain again to reassure her, a new troll ambles up to your table. She looks friendly, and that's friendly and ammo. She's wearing glasses and carrying a book bag with a teal symbol on her chest. So she might be a nerd like Lynera. This could be a good new friend match. New friend. Hello, new friend. Hi, guys. I think I've seen you around before. Do you also study at the book hive? You open your mouth to invite this new friend to sit down, but before you can respond, Lynera interjects. That's not even your business, is it? Why do we even want to know? Obviously, anyone who goes to the book hive to study goes there for peace and quiet. So why would you think you can bother us just because you recognize us from there? Okay, jeez. Okay, my bad, never mind. See you around never. And just like that, the golden opportunity for friendship is gone in a puff of smoke. What was Lynera thinking, being so rude? Doesn't she want to learn how to make new friends? I changed my mind, okay? There is no way I could be friends with any of the people here. I don't know them, not like I know you. You're surprised to hear that Lynera feels so positive about you when she was ready to stab you an hour ago. She takes your hand in both of hers and squeezes your fingers tight. I know we didn't get off to a great start, but that's my fault. But I can make it up to you. We're friends now, and we'll be friends forever. And I will kill anyone who even thinks about trying to mess with you. This is not quite the lesson you would hope to teach her about making friends, but maybe with her fierce loyalty and possessive streak spread out between you and Bronya, Lynera can be a little more low-key about being friends with you both. The determined look on her eyes and the ominous glint of her glasses don't scream low key, but change doesn't always happen overnight. And you believe this in second chances. You believe that Lynera is quite capable of a healthy relationship, healthy friendship someday. Yeah, I think she'll get there eventually. And there's blood on that knife. Thank you for stopping around for this one. Hopefully I can see you next time. With that, goodbye.